Today we're playing Rakdos Reanimator and Legacy. We're bringing creatures back from the dead like Griselbrand, Archon of Cruelty, and a new one, Valgavoth Terror Eater. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is Rakdos Reanimator. You might be familiar with the Dimir build that features Psychic Frog. That's more of a tempo deck. What we're playing today is a true through and through combo deck, and it goes all the way back to, in my opinion, the real homecoming for this build was GP Louisville in 2014, where Faithless Looting had a really big showing in the Rakdos build, making it all the way to top 8. But like the Dimir build, we're playing Entomb, a powerful 1 black mana instant that gets any creature, or really any card in your deck, to the graveyard. So with Rakdos Reanimator, we have a powerful suite of creatures that you could select from, with the oldest being Griselbrand. I mean, this card is a defining staple of Reanimator and Legacy. And then we have Archon of Cruelty, which is a non-legendary threat, which helps a lot, but also is creature control, and sometimes it just finishes off the opponent with the enters and attacks trigger when you're playing Shallow Grave. But on top of that, we have Atraxa Grand Unifier from Phyrexia All Will Be One. But the new one today is actually Valgavoth Terror Eater from Duskmourne. So it's a 9 mana 9/9 with flying and lifelink. And then Ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. Ward is if you want to target this creature, you have to meet this requirement. So they would have to sacrifice 3 non-land permanents just to target this creature. And then it's basically Leyline of the Void, except then you could pay life to cast those cards. That is how this card works, so it's really good in the combo mirrors or the Reanimator mirror. And it's a really good inclusion in this build today. But this build is built for going fast, which is why you see Faithless Looting and cards like Unmask. We don't have Grief anymore. I'm pretty happy about that. But Unmask, you could target yourself to then discard your Griselbrand and bring it back with Reanimate. You also have Animate Dead, Exhume, and then Shallow Grave. Those are the ways that we bring our creatures back today. In the sideboard, we have Show and Tell to get around graveyard hate. We have Echoing Truth for things like Leyline of the Void, Faerie Macabre for the mirror match. Shenanigans. This one's a little bit spicy. It has Dredge 1. And how do you dredge it back? More often than not, you use Entomb. So I mentioned Entomb puts creatures to the graveyard. It can also put Shenanigans to the graveyard. So you can use Entomb to search out a card like Shenanigans, dredge it, and then blow up a Nile Spellbomb or something else. Harvester of Misery, very good against aggro decks, and it puts itself to the graveyard, which is really helpful too, so that way you can bring it back with Reanimate and just wipe their board. Sheoldred the Apocalypse has a really nice synergy with Griselbrand. You just draw your deck and gain tons of life. And then Magus of the Moon is because it just beats some decks on its own. You don't need other creatures if you could just Magus them into the dirt. And then Molten Collapse is for Nile Spellbomb, Relic of Progenitus, things like that on top of creature strategies. This card is very good against Painter in particular, where Show and Tell isn't a reliable plan. So Molten Collapse does a lot of work there. That is my deck tech, short and sweet. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of Rakdos Reanimator. I still think that it's pretty strong and a reasonable choice for Eternal Weekend this year. All right, without any further ado, let's go play some Magic. I'll see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep this hand. It's a turn 1 Griselbrand plus a turn 1 Valgavoth, the Terror Eater. That said, it requires your opponent to not have any interaction, and here we see a Misty Rainforest. So maybe the right move here is to just draw discard. A Tameo Inquisitive Student. Okay. So I could just draw discard here and then unmask them next turn, and I think that's the play. We'll discard Griselbrand. They play Polluted Delta, and now they attack. Ouch. I'll take 0. They create a clue token. I'd love to draw a land. That would be delightful. They cycle Street Wraith, so I think we're facing Doomsday. They now cycle a second copy of Street Wraith, and this will transform the Tamiyo. Now they plus Tamiyo. They have 5 cards remaining in their hand. Thoughtseize, that was an incredible draw here. I think we're supposed to start on the Unmask. We'll exile the second copy of Griselbrand. If this gets dazed, I understand, but I think Lotus Petal resolving is more important than Unmask resolving. Oh, they're actually Reanimator. We'll take the Ponder. Interesting. Surprised they didn't Ponder there. Pretty greedy. Oh, I guess they could draw into a blue card. Alright, I messed up. I should have taken the Force of Will and not the Ponder. I forgot that they could clue into a blue card for Force of Will. We will Shallow Grave. That's my bad. I definitely messed that up. And now they'll draw off the clue. Shallow Grave. And now they're going to cycle an Edge of Autumn. So I guess they're looking for days. Griselbrand enters. We'll draw 7. Okay, let's draw 7 more. I go to 4 life. We're looking for a Dark Ritual here. Lotus Petal. No Dark Rituals. We will go to combat. Attack them for 7. We'll unmask them. Get rid of a Thoughtseize here. Take the Metamorphosis Fanatic. And now we will Faithless Looting, discard the Valgavoth and a land. So I can reanimate the Valgavoth and go to 1. I think that's probably fine here. Hold on, I could reanimate this. Yeah, that's just better. Let's bring back their Fanatic. Valgavoth comes home. And then just for good measure, they've had enough. Okay. We were going to discard the Tamiyo that they had in their hand. So Exhume is supposed to come out in the matchups where you're facing like a mirror where they could also get something back. We'll bring in Faerie Macabre. I don't know if we want the Shield Red or not. We might. That's 62 cards. I don't think we have room for the Shield Red. We'll get rid of it. And then I need one more cut, which I think could be a Cabal Therapy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Cabal Therapy. It's just not very reliable. You don't want to bring in something like Show and Tell, because your opponent could just Show and Tell something into play that beats you. I mean, this seems fine. I'm a little concerned that we don't have any discard, but I think it's keepable. They play Polluted Delta, Underground Sea into Ponder. Sure. My fear with this hand is that I'm hit by a Wasteland. Our build doesn't play Wasteland, but I'm willing to bet that our opponent's does. That's why the blue versions are more like a tempo deck. They're a deck that is really like a Daze, Ponder, Brainstorm deck. Even with Wasteland in it, that happens to have a small Reanimator package. We are a dedicated Reanimator deck. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. We draw Badlands. I like that. Let's start with the Raucous Theater, though. Do I want to put Archon of Cruelty through the graveyard? We'll put that on top. I don't think I want to put that into the graveyard and then pass. Our opponent did not play a land and just pass the turn. Interesting. I would like the Faithless Looting. Okay. We'll discard these two. And then let's try Reanimate on Atraxa. So we get blown out here by a Daze, Force of Will, a whole bunch of stuff. Or this Faerie Macabre. Okay. We will now pass. They still have 7 cards in their hand here. And they Ponder. They find land number 2, which is a Scalding Tarn. I would like to draw Unmask here. Another Reanimate. Let's try to play Entomb. Something I could have done here is just pass, then on their end step Entomb, so that way I could double Reanimate. But they Force of Will. Sure. We will pass the turn. They have 4 cards left in their hand. They Surveil Underground Sea to their graveyard. They play Psychic Frog. Okay. Dark Ritual, that doesn't help me here. I guess I could flashback Faithless Looting now, though, so let's try this. Dark Ritual. A Daze here would be a little annoying. And now we will flashback Faithless Looting. I'd like to draw a land, or a Lotus Petal. They allowed it to resolve. We'll discard Archon of Cruelty and Shallow Grave. Play Underground Sea, and now it's Thoughtseize. If they have another fairy, that's going to be very inconvenient. They Daze. I am not going to pay. Let's attempt to reanimate. They cycle Edge of Autumn. Oh, they're definitely a Doomsday-esque variant. That's why they're playing Edge of Autumn. I should have picked that up in game 1. And now this resolves, so we get to eat their Psychic Frog for breakfast. Yeah, I don't know why I was like in my head so much about them just being pure Reanimator. We saw Edge of Autumn in game 1. So that's on me. So they're like a Doomsday Reanimator hybrid. And now they're going to play Brainstorm. And our opponent just concedes the match. I'll take it. We're now 1-0 with Rakdos Reanimator. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. We are on the play for match number 2. Let's go. So I could Thoughtseize myself into turn 2 Griselbrand. I could also just do it all on turn 2. That's probably good enough. I think we'll just play Verdant Catacombs Go. Oddly enough, I think this hand is better on the draw, but I'm still going to keep it. We're going to Catacombs, pass the turn. Another island player. Can't get rid of these people. Come on. Just show me basic forest or plains or something. So on their end step, we're going to search out the Raucous Theater, and I would love to draw Unmask. So we get 2 looks for Unmask here. I'd also take a Faithless Looting. We do not need Verdant Catacombs. That can go to the graveyard. We draw a Valgavoth, but not what I need. Alright, so I'm going to pivot game plans here, knowing that our opponent's on blue. I think I'm going to do the draw discard method. Fluted Delta, or Underground Sea. And now they have Thoughtseize. Brutal. They take my Thoughtseize. Interesting. 1 Faithless Looting, please. That's what I would like to draw. We draw a basic Swamp. Alright, I'm going to play... I think we're too far away from the draw discard method at this point, so I'm going to start playing out lands. Nethergoyf. Okay, so they're not Reanimator. They're the Dimir tempo deck. And another copy of Nethergoyf. 4 cards remain. Faithless Looting. Boo. Alright, I will draw and pass. I mean, I'm in between plans here. I should have held the Badlands last turn in hindsight. I thought that maybe they were on Doomsday or Reanimator. They discard Brainstorm and another Thoughtseize. Okay. They take the Animate Dead. They attack for 6. I'll go to 13. We are running out of time. We draw Exhume. We will pass. So I would take 3 here down to 7. Next turn I draw discard. I attack. They attack. I go to 1. So we need our opponent to have nothing. I think it's supposed to be Griselbrand. So this attack puts me to 1. I think my best draw is still Unmask. I would take a Faithless Looting too, but Thoughtseize doesn't help me because I can't cast it. And sure enough, we draw Thoughtseize. Okay, so the Planeers did not lose to Daze, so we'll play out the Lotus Petal. And then I'm sure by now they found Force of Will and we're just going to lose, but we'll play Exhume. Yep, okay, we can go to the next one. I did not play that game that well. Taking a turn off for the Badlands was terrible. It just was not good in hindsight. We do want the Molten Collapse, and I think we want Show and Tells. I don't love Cabal Therapy here. It's so tough to guess Force of Will or Faerie Macabre, that sort of thing. So I think you're fine boarding those out. We're at 64 right now. You could probably get rid of Exhumes. Maybe in Shallow Grave too. I'm going to try this. Game number 2, we're on the play. Nope. This seems reasonable. We will keep. Bottom the second copy of Faithless Looting. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. We will take the Nile Spellbomb. Pass the turn. They go Island into Ponder. Let's see a shuffle. Come on. They do not shuffle. Show and Tell. Okay. I think we'll just pass. Because I don't want to go down on cards right now. I just want another land. And we can grab a land off, or hopefully find a land off Surveilling with Raucous Theater. They punish me with a Wasteland here. Okay, so now I'm more likely to be willing to Faithless Looting because The Underground Sea is the only blue source in the deck anyway. We'll grab Raucous Theater. Keep Reanimate. Let's try Faithless Looting. Discard Show and Tell and Griselbrand. We know that they're holding a Brainstorm, so I don't really see the need to play Unmask here. And now they Brainstorm. Looted Delta. They still have 6 cards in their hand. And they have a Thoughtseize. Yep. They take our Reanimate. I'm not surprised. Molten Collapse. I just need another land. We will attempt to Thoughtseize them. Force of Will, Consign to Memory, Psychic Frog. I think it's just Force of Will. Well, I guess if I take the Psychic Frog, I have Unmasked for the Force of Will later. And they don't get to bury or like dig themselves out. Yeah, let's take the Frog. And now I'm just trying to draw into land number 2. They play Underground Sea. We draw Lotus Petal. Let's try the Unmask. Because if they didn't draw another blue card, I could take Consign to Memory. So we need them to not have drawn another blue card. Force of Will pitches Brazen Borrower. Oh, because they can consign the Animate Dead trigger. That's right. Okay. They're not playing out the Underground Sea. Atraxa does not help me here. They drew Ponder for turn. It's kind of remarkable that my next card will be 25% of the deck, and I have not seen another land. Nile Spellbomb. That hurts. Okay. Unmask, but unfortunately it's too late now with the Nile Spellbomb in play. We'll just pass the turn. I don't really have another choice. They're going to use the Nile Spellbomb. They just draw and pass. Griselbrand, pass the turn. If they don't put a clock on me, we can get to the point where we just start discarding creatures. Flooded Strand, they still have 4 cards in their hand. We do draw land number 2, but at this point I'm on the draw discard plan, so we're just going to pass. Undercity Sewers, they kept the card. Psychic Frog, not what I want to see here. Another land, we will pass. They attack. I think we've lost this game now. Our opponent's just going to bury us in card advantage by the time I can get to the point where we could even think about bringing back a creature. A 3rd Nile Spellbomb, wow. Most lists only play 2. Discard Griselbrand. Maybe I should be boarding out Animate Dead instead of Shallow Grave and Exhume, just because it can't be consigned, and they're not actually Reanimator. That might just be my inexperience showing here. Attempt to play Lotus Petal, see if they try to counter it. They don't. We'll play a land. And let's try to Unmask. Force of Will, Exiling Daze. Okay, we will pass the turn. My plan was to Animate Dead and then get them to use the Spellbomb, so that way if we draw another Reanimate effect, I could Entomb into something, but I think we're just dead here. They could discard their hand and deal me lethal. So now they attack for 7. I'm at 8. They only need to discard 1 more card. They discard a Daze. That'll do it. So unfortunately, we are now 1-1.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game.
Round number 3, we're on the draw. You could be angry at me. I'm going to keep this. My thought is we have, what, 12 Reanimate effects? We have Faithless Looting, so we get 3 looks on the first turn. And if not, I could flashback Looting on turn 2. It's a lot of looks to find a Reanimate effect. Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void on 0. Okay. We do have a Lotus Petal in our hand, unfortunately. Raucous Theater. Let's just play that. Am I supposed to keep the Swamp in case they try to Blood Moon me? Alright, we'll keep the Swamp even though I don't want to. I'd rather not lose the Blood Moon. Maybe I should have just played a fetch on turn 1 for that reason. Okay, they're Eldrazi. Chalice of the Void. Sure. So I think the game plan is we'll just discard Griselbrand and then hope to draw one of the 2 mana effects. 3 mana here for a Glaring Fleshraker. Come on, Animate Dead. Archon of Cruelty. We'll just start playing out lands. Okay. 4 mana for a Thoughtseer. And they take my Archon of Cruelty. So if my draws in the next turn or so are not a 2 mana reanimate effect, I believe we've lost. Because I just won't have enough time to stabilize. Another large creature will play land. Pass the turn. Tavern of Souls. Sowing Mycospawn with the kicker. They grab a Wasteland. Sure. I don't think Wasteland or destroying my lands really matters here. I mean, for what it's worth, I would have bricked on finding a reanimate effect off the Faithless Looting. And that's not going to do it. There's a Chalice of the Void for 1 in play. So my keep bit me in the butt a little bit here. That said, with their opener, I don't know if we would have won anyway. So let's bring in a bunch of ways to beat Graveyard Hate. Alright, so we're at 70 cards right now. So we need to trim. Get rid of Cabal Therapy. We'll board out Shallow Grave and Exhume. I think we need to take out at least one of the large creatures. It just seems like a lot. You might even be able to board out the Valgavoth here because it's not a combo matchup. And now we're at 62. I'm not sure. My gut says like a looting and something else. Maybe I'm not supposed to do the Mind Collapse and just like try to naturally beat Chalice or use the shenanigans. I'll try this. On the play. Sure, this is a turn 2 show and tell if we can draw a land. We'll play Bloodstained Mire, fetch, and I think I just want to grab the basic land here. Play Thoughtseize. Linebreaker, Glaring Fleshraker, Faerie Macabre. I think I'm going to take the Thoughtseer because I can naturally beat the Faerie Macabre with the Atraxa out of my hand. They played turn 1 Eldrazi Temple. We did not draw the land. Alright, I will pass. Ancient Tomb into Glaring Fleshraker, sure. And there's the land we wanted. So I will now fetch, going down to 16. We'll grab Badlands. Let's play Show and Tell. Atraxa Grand Unifier. And they put in an Eldrazi Linebreaker. I'll take 1 off of the Glaring Fleshraker. And now we get a card of each type. So Lotus Petal. We'll choose Polluted Delta. Instant, the only one here is Dark Ritual. Sorcery can be Thoughtseize. Yeah, I think I do like this. So next turn I can discard the Faerie Macabre and put another creature onto the battlefield. We will pass. They play Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth. Another Glaring Fleshraker. Talisman of Impulse. So maybe they're just going to try to storm me out here and kill me with the Glaring Fleshrakers. Am I going to have to block? Wow, I am. Or else I'm dead. We'll block with the Atraxa. That was not something I wanted to happen. Magus of the Moon, but they have Talisman plus Eldrazi spawn at this point, so I don't think I want to show them that. We'll play Thoughtseize. This will knock me down to 12. They use the Faerie Macabre in response. They have a Blast Zone. Dark Ritual. Entomb. We'll grab the other Atraxa. Animate Dead on the Atraxa. It triggers. And now the Atraxa will trigger. Archon of Cruelty. Dark Ritual. Animate Dead. Faithless. No, maybe the Unmask is better, because I already have a looting. So we'll say done. So if I fetch, I go to 11. I think that's okay here. We'll play Faithless Looting. Discard Archon and a land. Dark Ritual. And we will Animate Dead on Archon of Cruelty. This will bring me up to 14. And we're threatening lethal next turn. Pass. Sweet, our opponent conceded. Off to game 3. I like our current plan. I'm just going to resubmit. I do wonder about Harvester of Misery. If it's actually good here. It might be. But because it wipes out like all the Glaring Fleshrakers, all the tokens, Eldrazi Linebreaker. Just not sure what to board out. Maybe the other Griselbrand. Oh, is it going to let me? Yeah, well, okay. So we'll do this. Okay, so we've opened up a hand that I think is a little too dicey. There's no large creature. There's no discard spells. I believe you're supposed to mulligan. I mean, this is just turn 1 Griselbrand. We'll keep this. Get rid of the Lotus Petals so that way if they Chalice to the Void for 0, it doesn't matter. They play Once Upon a Time. They find Ancient Tomb. Talisman of Impulse. Alright, so I kind of think that they have a Faerie Macabre, but I don't know if I'm allowed to play around it here. Like, you don't keep a hand that does this on turn 1 if you don't. That said, like, my hand doesn't do anything, and if I pass, I just get blown out by Thought-Knot Seer. We'll target myself, exile Dark Ritual, discard the Griselbrand, Dark Ritual, and we'll try Animate Dead. Either win the game or lose the game right here. So it's resolved, there's a trigger. They didn't have it. Okay. I could go Entomb plus Reanimate right here. Let's do it. We'll grab Archon of Cruelty and then reanimate the Archon. Ah, our opponent isn't happy in chat. Aw, poor little baby Eldrazi player. Aw, your big monsters weren't big enough. We're now 2-1.
Welcome to Gold Sabertooth's Commander Pantheon Collection. Exclusive art now on playmat shirts and stickers. You can choose from iconic commanders such as Roderick Silas in many different vibrant colors. Not to mention, these products are all printed on the highest quality materials. Don't miss out on limited edition merchandise and get sweet rewards when you back this project on Kickstarter. Want to know more? Check out the Kickstarter link in the description or pinned comment down below.
Round number 4, we're on the draw. This hand is not keepable. We have to send it back. So this one has looting, but we also just have Entomb Reanimate. I'm going to keep this one. We'll bottom a Faithless Looting, and hopefully we draw Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual, land number 2, a Lotus Petal, something like that. Polluted Delta. I want some non-blue opponents. That would be delightful. Turn 1 Thoughtseize again. We take my Entomb. Interesting. We draw the land. I'll play Polluted Delta and pass. Now they play Ponder. They did not shuffle off Ponder, and on the end step we'll use the Polluted Delta, and we'll grab the Raucous Theater. Dark Ritual. I think we keep that. We'll play the Swamp. Let's try Faithless Looting. That was very good. Discard the Animate Dead. Hopefully Dark Ritual resolves. They have 5 cards in hand. Daze is a fear, but if it's taking this long, I'm guessing they don't have a Daze. So they're wondering, like, am I really supposed to force a will? No, they have a Daze. Okay, they're just really deliberate, I guess. And we'll pass the turn. End step, they search out an Undercity Sewers. Personal Tutor, so they're on Doomsday. Explains why they took so long on the Daze decision, because Daze brings them a little bit further from Doomsday each time. Unless they find a Dark Ritual here off the Brainstorm. They play Flooded Strand. 5 cards left. Alright. Another Archon of Cruelty. We'll try a Thoughtseize. How's it feel? You're only getting Thoughtseize, do you? Okay, so I think we're supposed to take the Daze here and then force them to cast Force of Will. So we're targeting Archon of Cruelty. They'll fetch in response. And they Brainstorm. Reanimate is back on the stack. And they Force of Will, exiling Personal Tutor with 2 cards left in their hand. Now they Brainstorm. Land number 3, still 2 cards left. We find land 3. Let's try another Reanimate. They're going to fetch in response. Okay, Archon enters. We draw a Shallow Grave. Does not help me here. We'll pass. So they have 1 turn here to win. So it would need to be like Doomsday. I can't even think of 2 cards that would do it here. Like Doomsday, Cycle Edge of Autumn. You don't have anything to then do with your card that you draw. So there's no card that could have won them the game there. They only have 2 cards in hand. I'm sure a bunch of you are already typing out angry messages about how you draw into Doomsday and then you win, but you need actual more cardboard in your hand to do that. And just Doomsday, Street Wraith, or Edge of Autumn is not enough. We'll bring in Magus of the Moon and Shieldra of the Apocalypse. So that's 63. I think you're supposed to take out the Valgavoth here. Maybe 1 Archon of Cruelty. And 1 Cabal Therapy. So it's tough because Doomsday plays, like, I guess I should bring in, oh, too late. I'm supposed to bring in one Shenanigans, because they do play 2 Grafdigger's Cage, but they're a deck with Force of Negation, Force of Will, Daze, Flusterstorm. Like, naming the right card off Cabal Therapy is very difficult. I don't think I'm allowed to keep this. Mulligan. Well, this is not bad. We'll keep. Bottom a basic. We need to draw a Reanimate effect, but we do have 12 of them. Ponder. My best draw is actual factual Reanimate here, because I would have Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, and Entomb Reanimate. Faithless Looting. Okay. We'll search out Badlands and play Faithless Looting. It is countered by Daze. They replay Underground Sea and Duress. Yep. They take my Thoughtseize. They still have 5 cards in their hand. We draw Unmask. Dark Ritual. And now we will flashback Faithless Looting. The Force of Will, exiling Personal Tutor. Okay, well, I will unmask you. Doomsday, Doomsday. That is cruel. Alright, we'll take 1, and then we'll play Entomb. Put another Griselbrand in the graveyard. So we're hoping to draw one of those Reanimate effects before they can cast Doomsday. They play Misty Rainforest. We draw land. Unfortunate. They search out Undercity Sewers, and now they will surveil. They put another copy of Doomsday to the graveyard. On the end step, we'll fetch. Grab a Raucous Theater. Lotus Petal can go to the graveyard. We'll take a draw, and it's another land. You're killing me. We're going to hold it because we do have Faithless Looting in our deck. So you're supposed to hold. They drew the 3rd land for Doomsday. Doomsday resolves, and assuming their hand isn't like Cycler plus Brainstorm, or something along those lines, or Cycler Lotus Petal. I guess Cycler Lotus Petal doesn't do it either. So we're getting another turn. I guess if it was like Cycler Lion's Eye Diamond, that would kill me. Or Cycler would kill me. Lion's Eye Diamond is not in their pile, and they do not have Grafdigger's Cage, but instead they have copies of Faerie Macabre. Okay, so I got lucky when I didn't accidentally board in Shenanigans. Thoughtseize. So we've lost this one. I'm not going to be able to win, but we'll look at what's left in their hand. Take the Oracle. Pass the turn. Hope that they... I mean, I don't see another Oracle in exile, so we're probably just dead. They cycle a few copies of Edge of Autumn. Now they're playing Consider. And that'll do. So we did not get there. Next game. I'm going to keep the deck as it is. We'll just resubmit. Game number 3. So this is a turn 1 large creature, but we don't have a protection spell. I think I'm going to Faithless Looting first, looking for that protection. They kept 7. We'll search out Badlands and play Faithless Looting. Come on, Force of Will the looting, please. Do it for me. Does that do it? So if I get rid of Swamp and Unmask? No, it doesn't do it. I mean, it's not bad, it just doesn't win right now. So I think you're supposed to get rid of Lotus Petal, Unmask, and then hope to win next turn? Or do you keep the Lotus Petal and hope to draw a land? I wish this hand had another card somehow. I kept 7. Clearly you're supposed to cheat and draw an extra. Discard Unmask. And now we will unmask on them. Exile the Dark Ritual. They had the free counter spell, but they also have a Daze for next turn. We'll take the Force of Negation, play out the Lotus Petal, and we'll pass. So my best draw is a Dark Ritual, Looted Delta, Faithless Looting. I think we're supposed to just pass here. And now with this on the stack, we can Entomb without having to fear Daze. We'll grab Griselbrand. And they Undercity Sewers. They kept the card on top. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. And they have a Cycler. So, depending on what their one unknown... Actually, they can put a Force of Will on top. And then cycle into the Force of Will and then untap and win. So if our opponent's good, which they've seemed like they're a competent player so far, we've lost. Alright, so... I count all 4 Force of Wills here in exile. So they either have the win or they didn't think of it. I'm not sure. We'll see in a second. They cycle Street Wraith, Island. So is there one card in hand like a Fluster or something? We drew the land. Animate Dead. Or it could also just be a Faerie Macabre. Yeah, Faerie Macabre works too. If it's Fluster, I feel like they messed up. It's Faerie Macabre. Okay. We are dead. I will concede. We are now 2-2.
With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week?
The final round, we're on the draw. This hand is not keepable. I mean, we do have Unmask. And then like Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize yourself, Animate Dead, but we would have to spike a mana. We're on the draw. You know what? I've talked myself into it. Let's do it. Underground Sea again. Never gets old, let me tell you. And we did not draw the land. We will unmask targeting them. Get rid of the Valgavoth here. We will take Brazen Borrower. Pass the turn. And step they Brainstorm. Polluted Delta, Nile Spellbomb. Perfect. Just perfect. Alright, we'll go to the next one. That was disappointing. Sheesh. Alright, we'll bring in Molten Collapse, the Shield Red, and we probably want Show and Tells. Get rid of Cabal Therapy, and then your tertiary effects like Shallow Grave and Exhume, and goodbye Valgavoth. We haven't really had a dedicated Reanimator mirror to play that yet. It's just been a lot of Dimir tempo, and that like Doomsday hybrid. So not a great league for the Valgavoth, but I swear it is very good. I think we keep this. We'll play Polluted Delta, and then Unmask, exiling the Animate Dead. I think it's supposed to be Force of Will. So the goal here would be to like draw Dark Ritual plus a large creature to naturally beat the Daze. You got it. On the end step, we'll fetch. Grab Raucous Theater. Keep the land. Fetch again just to thin. Grab another Badlands. And then we'll looting here. The plan is to discard Unmask and hopefully find a large creature, and we do. Discard Molten Collapse. So now all we have to do is find one more mana in order to beat Daze. Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal. Another land could do it, but it takes an extra turn. They play Swamp, which we didn't know about. Another Nethergoyf. And now they swing for 1. We'll go to 17. I could also try to get them to Daze Faithless Looting. See if they're going to bite on that. Faithless Looting. And they do Daze. Perfect. We will pass. They play Polluted Delta. So we know that they still have Underground Sea in their hand. They kept the card on top. We'll take 4. Ouch. Reanimate. So we'll try for Show and Tell here. We know 2 of their 4 cards. They drew another Daze. Come on. You're killing me, Smalls. Pass the turn. So with this attack, I will go to 9 life, which is just enough to reanimate the Archon of Cruelty. So I would need to find a way to discard the Archon right now, like an Unmask or Faithless Looting. Or an Entomb. We'll play Entomb. I think I just want Archon. I mean, Atraxa is cool, but Archon makes sure that I don't lose the game. So that's what I'm interested in here. Let's bring back Archon of Cruelty. And they drew Force of Will blue card. Okay, well, I have another Reanimate. This one resolves. So they still have Dismember in their hand. But we're about to go up to 4 life. So I could just take it and then go to 1. No blocks. I'll go to 1. Shield Dread's not bad. Let's swing. So the Archon will trigger. They'll fetch. Is this a hardcast Dismember? It is. So they'll take 1 here. But the Archon still triggers, which is really all I care about. And now we draw Show and Tell, and then I can put in Shield Dread. Or another Archon here. Let's do the Archon. Alright, we've stolen this game. I feel like I didn't really deserve this one, but I somehow made it work. Nice. We're off to game 3. I will resubmit. We're going to keep this one. This hand is close, is it gets to perfect. So if we draw a black card, I have turn 1, Unmask, Thoughtseize myself, Reanimate Atraxa. I just have to draw a black card here. We did not. Okay. So I think we're going to pivot game plans a little bit. I'm going to Unmask, exiling Dark Ritual. They have Wasteland. So I'm not allowed to go get my Badlands here, which is what I want. But if I take the Daze, I guess I... Alright, so it's a little risky. I can do this over 2 turns. I could Thoughtseize myself now and Reanimate next turn and pray. And then they have Ponder or Brainstorm to help look. This is a very risky play. I would have loved if we could have just drawn a black card for turn instead of Faithless Looting. They Brainstorm. The only way Brainstorm is right here is if they drew a fetch land for turn. Because otherwise, Ponder digs you deeper. If they just pass here, I think they misplayed. Well, you know, Mystic Sanctuary or Wasteland pass. Alright, so they did have a Polluted Delta. And now Ponder gets to look at 4 more cards here. They shuffle. Alright, land would be great just for the sake of playing around Daze, I mean. Another Reanimate. Okay, let's try it. Reanimate on Atraxa. It works! Wow. Alright, so Lotus Petal for Artifact, Enchantment for Animate Dead. I think we want Unmask for Sorcery. And then we can take Burning Catacombs for land. And then I still get an instant. So, Entomb. We'll play this. And I can now unmask. And I can put another large creature into play. So, we'll do that. Take the... They have double Borrower. That's pretty good. What to do here? We'll take one of the Borrowers. So... I'll fetch down to 9. So if I reanimate Archon, I'm actually dead to the Bowmasters. Actually, no, I'm not, because I gain life. We'll Entomb, grab Archon of Cruelty, and now we'll reanimate the Archon of Cruelty. So this will put me up to 4. And they can only Brazen Borrower 1 thing, and they just concede instead. We got the 3-2. Not bad. Did I play everything in this league perfectly? I wish. I certainly did not. There's probably a hand or two that I probably should have mulliganed. But this deck is powerful. I think the things that I'm not crazy about are Cabal Therapy. That said, I don't know if there's something that's actually better than Cabal Therapy. Just playing the guessing game of knowing if your opponent has Force of Negation or Faerie Macabre or Surgical Extraction. I think Cabal Therapy is not a card that's aged particularly well once the Horizon sets started. Once those happen, I think Cabal Therapy kind of stinks. The reason to play it is that you could target yourself and then discard a large creature. But there's probably something better you can play than Cabal Therapy. So I'm not sure I love those, but the creature package felt really good. We got to attack with a hasty creature with Shallow Grave once. The sideboard felt fine. I don't really have a whole lot of feedback other than I'm a Cabal Therapy hater. So shout out to Snoopy Magic. I think I forgot to mention their name in the deck tech, but this is their deck list that made the top 8 of the Legacy Challenge. And I just think it's pretty good. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And as always, keep storming.
What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.